This is not normal. This is something that's very concerning in the real estate world. Let's say you bought a property back 2 decades ago. You should be expecting bare minimum like a 100 to 200% gain if you bought it in like a decent city. Like go to Hong Kong, Shanghai, go to Sydney, go to Singapore, even New York City. If you bought a property 20 years ago, many people are getting gains even up to like 7 to 8x depending on which city you bought. So what about this mega mansion in San Francisco? There's a X user that came out and said that this mansion is now currently purchased for $6.3 million. It was sold just a few months ago, I guess like during Halloween. It's a very nice mansion. I mean, look at this. It's big, it's fat, 4 stories, in a very good location in San Francisco, surrounded by trees. You got a lush backyard. Obviously, like if I had $6 million, I probably wouldn't buy in San Francisco. Probably buy in other places like Vegas, maybe even Seattle. It's not that bad. And then Miami is pretty cool. I'll definitely go over there, Florida. But some rich guys decided to stay in San Francisco, spend $6.3 million. Whereas initially, this building was sold for $15 whopping million back in 2003. So you're telling me 2 decades ago, this building sold for 15 mil? And what's scary is 2 decades ago, $15 million is worth so much more now. Now with this inflation, this money printing, $15 million isn't the same buying power as back in the old days. Now check out the property tax. Property tax is slowly increasing. In the most recent property tax assessment, you got this property at around $214,000 a year. That's an insane property tax. And the valuation that the city is giving this property is $18.4 million. And what a shocker, right? This building was sold for $6 million. So a third of the price of what the city is assessing. The property tax is over $200K a year. And what's even worse about the situation is the city isn't giving people price cuts despite massive decreases in property values. And here's what I'm talking about. Go to San Francisco, many of these buildings no longer are worth the amount, right? If you look at the offices, a lot of these offices are selling for 50, even 80% off. So this mega mansion valuation that got cut by over 70%, in my opinion, shouldn't be a big surprise. Because a lot of these buildings are now pretty much worthless. Offices are pretty worthless, down 50, 70, 80%. Mega mansions are being sold for 66% off, 70% off, better than Black Friday deals anywhere else. And the city has announced they will not be giving out property tax cuts because the city is going broke. The city really needs money. And for the first time in San Francisco history, there's a record high amount of people sending in letters and invoices to the city council asking for a property tax reduction. Even Blackstone is doing it, one of the biggest real estate tycoon hedge funds in the world. So this is very shocking. This is the collapse of San Francisco. What's even scary is imagine buying a property for this price, but you're paying the property tax. That's 3 times the amount of this price's property. Makes no sense, right? If the property values goes down, real estate and taxes and property tax should all go down with it. But San Francisco, it's came in at a very high elevated level because they need money desperately. And this is causing many of these properties to not be sold or to be sold for dirt cheap prices. And check this out. Bay Hill Ventures is now unveiling plans for a 71-story residential tower. I don't think this is a good idea at all, considering the surrounding buildings have a lot of empty space. And the thing is, I have a feeling that not a lot of investors will be pouring money into this tower. Considering the Salesforce Tower is pretty empty, this building right here on the side, 180 on Fremont, already got Meta vacating its headquarters. So you already have a vacant, like almost 500,000 square feet of empty office space. And the condos are mostly unsold. Look at the other surrounding buildings. Some of them have vacancies up to 50, 70%. So try to make a residential tower. Yes, you're going to be getting some tenants, but not a lot of tenants. Many of the highest paying San Francisco workers no longer work here, or they got laid off because there's massive tech layoffs. And then simply put it, this just isn't really that profitable. Now, what do I know, right? Maybe the location is so good that everyone's going to rent there. But just to give you guys an example, not far from the X headquarters, or I guess Twitter, if you still want to use the original name, the NEMA Tower. This is another luxury skyscraper, and they do rentals just like the one being proposed right now. And this building The valuation back in 2018 was $579 million. Now the bank is valuing this at a little under $300 million, specifically around $270 million. So in just a span of 5 years, you got a 50% price reduction for one of the best skyscrapers in San Francisco in terms of rentals. And this is freaking everyone out because this building that was recently built a few years ago is also residential rentals. They're freaking out because they're like, you're telling me my building is worth half price? This building's worth half price. That building's worth half price. This is probably worth half price. That's pretty bad considering real estate is supposed to be one of the most safest and most conservative investments out there. And it's kind of hard to lose money in real estate. But San Francisco really screwed the poacher. San Francisco, they did not see that office workers will be pretty furious that the city just crumbled when they were gone. A lot of office workers during the pandemic left San Francisco to work remote. And then when they came back, they saw the city just fully deteriorate. You see massive police budget reductions. You see crimes. Now, people don't even punish crimes in the city, in my opinion. And a lot of storekeepers are just super angry about this, right? And even after the APEC summit, the cleaning just stopped. And the streets became the same old dirty streets. A lot of business owners are not happy. Ask any business owner. They tell the same thing. Business is lacking. There's less foot traffic. And it's hard to make money, especially if you own a restaurant. And check this out. It's not just specifically in San Francisco, but even Sunnyvale. This is kind of like where a lot of the big tech companies are. Sunnyvale is a neighborhood that's very close to the Apple headquarters, and you already have the owners of a Sunnyvale office complex defaulting on a $63.5 million loan. This is a massive loan being foreclosed, and everyone is pretty shocked because people thought that, the Silicon Valley area, like Cupertino, Mountain View, Sunnyvale, this is where like Google and Apple and Oracle are headquartered. So it's actually pretty shocking to see this building just defaulting because they can't find tenants. That's a $63.5 million loan. I wouldn't really be surprised if it was in San Francisco, but it's also in better parts of the Bay Area. Not looking so hot. And then you got this. Another San Francisco office trades for a 50% discount. And these are the stories that are very scary considering these are high-end office apartments. It's 201 Spear Street. Let me show you guys where it is. This is a very prominent office district. This is not a bad office district by any means. It's next to Schwab. It's next to the UPS store, which is nice. And actually some of the most expensive, luxurious, condos and apartments. You're next to the Salesforce Tower, the Fremont Tower, and of course, can't forget the Leaning Millennium Tower as well. It's right next to the water. It's right next to the coast. If you want a good office, this is like AAA rated. You can't get any better than this. And you're telling me an office as nice as this, selling for 50% off? It's literally right next to Stewart Lane, the new condo that opened up that's selling for like $4 to $5 million a pop. And you're telling me this building is selling for 50% off? What about the guys who bought the condo right next to it? Maybe these units aren't even worth the listed price. And that's what's freaking everyone out. And I could make a whole video about this situation because a lot of owners and a lot of people who thought about buying this or have already bought, they're either backing out or they're pretty much scared that the valuation of their building practically got destroyed. So let's see what happens. Thanks for watching, guys, and see you later.